Welcome back. We head now to Mozambique, where the governor of Maputo Province, Júlio Parruque, has announced the suspension of classes in 90 state-owned schools for 7 days in the districts affected by floods that have already displaced over 39,000 people, equivalent to over 7,800 households. The schools will be closed in the districts of Boane, Namaacha, Magude, Manhiça, and Matola. The measure covers 64,498 pupils, 1,871 teachers, and 267 employees.
Torrential rains, together with the rising levels of the Inkomati and Umbiluzi rivers, have forced thousands of people to abandon their homes in search of safety. Not only have schools been closed, but 11 of them have been turned into accommodation centers for flood victims. Now let's bring in Wilka Diaz, as a senior lecturer at Alberto Chipande University. Thanks for joining us. Good morning to you, Mr. Diaz.
Morning, good morning.
All right, we could quickly, share with us, what the current situation is in those areas that have been affected, greatly by the flood.
So right now, good morning, everyone. For now, the situation is under control, but people have the experience catastrophic situation in Boane, in Namaacha, and other parts here in south of Mozambique, but in particular, there's some districts here in Maputo Province. So we have so many people are lose everything like homes, clothes, and etc. So that's why the government created the accommodation center, so transforming the schools in the accommodation center. But the civil society has given the great support to rescue the victims of that floods. In Boane in particular are allocated boats, jet skis, and some people give the physical support to help that people. So we have the big movement of the civil society to rescue that people, and right now we have the other big support of that people to give some food, for example, water and etc. for the people in that accommodation center. But we have the situation for the people now is stable, but I have so many people lose anything because the water are invaded their homes, and I have people lose parents and about that floods, and have some people have stayed on the roof of the houses to protect himself from that floods. But for now, we have some roads are very transitable, and we can go to some parts of Boane, for example, in particular. But the situation for now is under control.
I mean, Wilka, you paint a very sad picture of what the situation is. To think that people are sleeping on their roof, roofs is just really heartbreaking. And you know that this isn't the first time that Mozambique has been plagued with floods, droughts, or other natural disasters. Even last year alone, they were hit with at least about 5 cyclones, if we gather that correctly. Let's talk about the preventive measures by the government. Are there notices that are issued before these hit? And what is also the government's response after the event has happened like?
For example, the government don't give for the first day and the second day any support. We don't have any prevention solution for that type of the natural events here in Mozambique. For example, in Beira, we are suffering with the cyclone Idai in 2019, and don't have a great support because it's I think it's the first time we have the one big cyclone here in Mozambique. But we have the other events. For example, we have the floods 20 years ago. We have the other cyclone, but the situation has repeated right now. We don't have any support and plan for response of the government. For example, in Boane, the people are they have the money people make the rescue for that people in the Boane, on the isolated places, is the people from the civil society. It's not people from the government. The people from the government coming for after 2 days and just give you only the support, the people, human resources to help dead people. But if you see on that in that video right now, it's we have the jet skis, they have boats, but it's the boats from the civil society. It's not the boats from the government. We have some NGOs there. That car, for example, that guy is from the one NGO. For if you see, have some policies there, but give only the physical support. It's not for they don't allocated boats in the first time on or making the province communication for the people on the affected area. So that's why we need to change that position, and maybe we can make one restructure in the our function of the disasters the manager in the Mozambique. We have the one department who treat that type of the disaster, but don't have any plan, any concrete plan. But sometimes the people receive the big support from the other parts to preventing that the type of the phenomenon. But for now, we don't have any response in that case in particular. The people are allocated the boats, jet skis, and etc. And so we have some people of the civil society are lose the boats, lose jet skis because it's raining too much. We have some trees are crashed the boats and etc. But we have so many situations there. But maybe we can need to change our position. The government needs to change our position for that type. For example, next week we have one probability to have one cyclone in Sofala, and we need to stay in position to rescue the people and to give all support for that people.
Well, really, frightening and of course shocking pictures and images from Mozambique. Can you clarify, what the death toll is currently in these floods, and also what's the weather, situation like in Mozambique? Because some people have mentioned climate change as one of the reasons these floods have seemingly gotten worse. So can you, share with us, what the seasonal or weather, situation is like in Mozambique at this time of the year? Is there a period when we expect that these floods will dry up and, we wouldn't get to hear about things, or at least parts of those, or those parts of Mozambique will be dry?
Yes, in this time of the year, we are expected it's raining too much because we are in the summer here in Mozambique in January, no, after November, October, November, we have in Mozambique raining too much. But in Maputo, no, for this year, no, last year, this year, no, and start to raining only on February. And that's why we have the consequence, the raining on that dimension and that floods here in Mozambique. Of course, this is the one climatic changes in effect, and we need to take one position about it. So this is very dangerous for the African, in particular African countries are suffering all years about the climatic changes. And we don't have any position, not only for I don't say for the government, African government, but for the other countries. It's not on the African continent to take one position and see what's happening here, because we need to find the solution, because the African continent in particular are suffering all times, all years with that event. We have not only for Mozambique, but we have other countries. For example, in Angola, we have that situation, the similar situation. That's not floods, but have, so many people have in the hungry situation because it's not raining in some part in the south region of Angola. For example, we have the other I think is in Somalia and etc. So this is one climatic change impact. So it's very dangerous for our countries. Maybe you can and sit and discuss about it, but all years is the same thing. The same thing. For example, Boane is not a region we expected the floods. For example, I never expected the floods on that dimension in Boane. I live here very near from Boane, like 10, 20 minutes, and I never expected that the type of the floods on that dimension. So I need to say the floods on that dimension is not only in Boane. We have the same situation here in the capital, in Maputo city. We have the same dimension. We have so many neighborhoods that have in the same situation, water and houses. Some houses are destroyed because there was on that situation. And we have the other part of the South region right now, for example, in Gaza province, we have that situation. In South Africa here, are in the same situation. I think in the Mpumalanga have floods there. And yeah, this is the climatic change impact and affected South Africa.
Ruka, I shudder to imagine the impact that these floods have. Mozambique has been rated 181 out of 189 countries according to UN Human Development Index, dealing with poverty, stating that most of the people in your country are living on less than $1 a day. So to imagine the impact that the floods will now have on their finances is quite scary. And we do hope that help comes to you from the international community. We'll be keeping up with you to find out what the updates on this story are. Thank you, Ruka Diaz, for joining us this morning on Breakfast Central.
Okay, thank you.